focus. Yo, we have a Caro against a candidate master. All right, let's see what happens. So we have an exchange variation. This is the main line with bishop d3. And we'll go queen c7, stopping bishop to f4. It's a very, very nice line. Okay, h3, we can go g6, preparing bishop to f5. Because otherwise it's quite hard to develop the light squared bishop. And then we can take. And then I believe... Let me think a second. I think bishop g7, e6, c4, knight e7. Why vertical stream? Well, to be fair, I basically use my streams that I do to convert them into YouTube shorts. So it's kind of easier if I just do it in the short version to begin with. Okay, g3. Preparing this. Okay, is that a big deal? Not really. Can I stop it? No, I don't think so. Let's start with rook ac8. We are likely going to expand on the queen side. Put the queen on d7. If knight to e4, sorry, knight e5, I can always take. King g2, okay. I'm not really concerned about some kind of kingside attack. If h4, I can just go h5. So let's look to expand on the queen side. Hi to everyone joining. Hope you're all doing well. Okay, he's trying to hop his knight in. b6, we hang this. If knight here, well, we just lose our knight. Okay, how should we go about this position? We could go for the immediate h5, but I feel like I'm egging white on. No, let's go h5. Wait, am I just blundering a pawn? Yeah, no, I am. I'm literally just blundering a pawn. Okay, that's horrific. I can try queen b6 after he takes. I can try that, but that's just a really dumb blunder. There are some ideas, kind of. I mean, b2, I might be able to just grab it. a6 might hang, though. Let me think here. Can I go e5? Because if the pawn takes, then their knight will hang. If e5, knight takes, bishop takes, rook takes. That doesn't work. Queen here. Rook here. I think I probably have to go for that. I don't think I have a choice. Also, this is a threat to fork the queen and the rook, so I think I just kind of have to pray. I should always have an escape route via a5, but yeah, this is not ideal. We are equal on material for the time being, but to be fair, because this rook is now off the e-file, we can play for e5. That's true, actually. That's true. Edu, hi. Thank you for the support, mate. Okay, rook b6. Threatening to take on a6. Can we go for e5? If rook takes, we come here with tempo. Although we can go rook b1 supported by the queen. We don't have an escape square. Maybe I have to go a5. Oh, but then if a5, then rook b3 traps the queen. That's really good for my opponent. How do I deal with this? Can I? Rook here? e5. I feel like I have to go for e5. I feel like it's my only try. I mean, I think I'm losing regardless, but I think this is the best attempt. Yeah, rook a6. I might have... rook a6, e4. Yeah, I mean, queen a5 was a move, but it just gives the pawn away with tempo still. I need something more combative. Let's try e4. Let's try e4. I mean, it doesn't work realistically, but it's a try. No, knight b8, the bishop can just take the knight, so it doesn't really do anything. I'm trying to create a little bit of chaos here, because otherwise I'm just going to get steamrolled. Queen b2 just invites the rook into the game, so that's not gonna help. Let's bring the knight into f5. Maybe there can be some tactics on d4 in the future. c3 is weak. The c pawn is going to struggle to push. Something like that would make sense, okay. I don't think this really works, but again, I'm trying to complicate the position. Because the knight now hangs. I can maybe get a knight and a bishop versus a rook. That might be as good as I can go for, which wouldn't be the end of the world, actually, considering this has not gone to plan. I'm expecting knight b3. I'm expecting knight b3. There is 2-second increment, by the way, if you're wondering about the time, but I need to lock in. I need to lock in here. Whoa, what? Why would he go for that? Oh, I missed that. Oh, bloody hell. No, I'm just lost. Yeah, I'm just completely lost. Oh, did I have to take with the rook then? I guess I have to take with the rook, right? And then I'm fine. Yeah. And then after something like take, here, I can hold this. Taking with the bishop was just very silly. Very silly move. I actually thought he was going to go for... stop. I thought he was going to go knight b3, giving it up like this, which is winning for white, but I thought this could be somewhat difficult for him to hold, but after something like rook a8, for example, and maybe takes and takes, this is actually a draw, so because you can't hold on to the a2 pawn. So it is actually slightly complicated. I'm not really sure where I went wrong there, to be fair. I mean, the opening was great. Nothing wrong here. Here, f6 is actually the way to go, looking for e5. Oh, no, I have seen this idea before. f6 playing against bishop to f4, because then e5 blocks the diagonal. Ah, right. Okay, but this is still okay. Queen d7, again f6. I haven't played that idea enough, to be fair. Is knight a5 a move? It can be a move, but if the knight comes to a5, it gives away the e5 square, and then the queen gets hit. So, yeah. Basically, a6 is a waste. I need to go for this. b6 is apparently viable to keep this knight out. And maybe if I can get a configuration like this, that could be interesting, but okay. Okay, that's not the best start. We have another Caro, so we'll see if we can redeem ourselves. We have an accelerated Panov. So let's take bishop c4. We don't want to take on c3, really. Yeah, we can just drop back. There's no sacrifice. Let's go knight to c6, stopping d4. I think bishop g4 probably... no, bishop g4 actually would lose because of here, here, and here. So let's not fall for that. Let's go g6, bishop g7 castles. I don't really want to play e6 if I can avoid it. So I don't want to block my bishop in. d4, bishop g7, pawn d5. I can always bring my knight over this way and block the check with the bishop, so that's no problem. Yeah, bishop e3, let's castle. And this is an ideal setup now. I'm very, very happy. My opponent stops my bishop coming to g4, which makes sense. Let's chase his bishop away from b3. If we can kick it back to c2, we can take this diagonal with our bishop, and we also have a lovely square on c4 for our knights to occupy. This is a good Panov. Our rook can come to c8 once this bishop moves. I'm liking this. And you'll see how our bishop and our knights are fighting for the light squares really, really nicely with each other. Okay, knight g5. Can I just go... Wait, that looks like a blunder. Bishop c4. And now white can't castle unless he blocks somehow. Yeah, b3 I'm not sure actually helps him. There could be issues down the c file now. So I think we just drop back to a6. And he's going to have to probably trade. But you see how this diagonal is heavily weakened by playing the move b3. It does keep our knights out of c4, but it creates problems down the c-file, which I'll look to exploit. Any updates on my speedrun account? No, chess.com is just not cooperating with me. I'm not really sure why, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I have considered doing it on Lee Chess, but I have tried that before without success, so yeah, okay. Knight back to e2, preparing to castle. Queen c7 stops him from castling. If bishop to d3, probably taken queen c2, right? Also, actually, knight to d5 exists with pressure on the bishop. If knight d5 castles, I could take the bishop, but I'm not sure what we actually gain there. I'm not sure what we gain. We could, if here in castles, go knight to b4. The bishop is under attack and can't come to d3. If bishop to e4, then f5 kicks the bishop back to b1. Does that achieve anything? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. So... okay, it's an interesting position. This feels like a critical moment. Yeah, I think queen c7. I guess there is rook c1. There is rook c1. Maybe then knight d5 makes sense, trying to remove a defender of the rook. And whenever I take here, it comes with tempo. I don't know. Maybe my queen shouldn't be there. Maybe my queen shouldn't be there. If knight d5, bishop g6, knight e3, rook c7, knight d1, rook c8, rook c8. Let's say the bishop comes back to c2. My knight comes to b2. It's a weird position. I'm going to go knight d5. This is complicated. Complicated. I'm not sure about bishop g6, I have to say. Okay. I didn't consider that move. I might actually sack my queen. I'm going to sack my queen. I think we actually have compensation. Because... okay, no, sorry, we don't have f4. I thought we had... no, wait, do we have f4? If knight takes, this hangs, although my knight also hangs. Let's double up. I think we have a bit of compensation, but I'm very low on time. Let's go for rook to c2. Applying a ton of pressure. If I can get rooks on a2 and c2, I'm probably better. I'm probably better. White has to watch out here. I mean, I have a pretty solid pawn structure once I go e6. Knight f4. Let's take the bishop. Yeah, the rook can't take because of rook c1. Let's take on a2. There's no rook e2 because my bishop controls e2. I have the bishop pair. My bishop could come out this way, but it's a good defender of the king. We're now equal on material. There's no knight to b4 because of rook to g2. Also, rook d2 is a threat. Queen b1, hitting this rook. No, but then I just take. I think we might be winning. I think we might be winning after that queen sack. This knight is stuck defending g2, so knight f5 is not a concern. Queen c1, bishop f8. C8 even. Bishop f8 should defend. Bishop e4 is a problem for white. Maybe. I need to keep this rook out of the game. I need to keep that rook out of the game. Where do I want my knight? Don't know. e4, really? Take, check. Queen g4. King h8. I should be okay. Not sure if that's a good move, but I'm trying to keep the queen away. My king can go to f7. What is this game? Okay, the queen's under attack. Take here. There was this. Okay, my opponent doesn't play it, and he hangs the rook. And then I just mate him. Whoa, okay. Well, that's just game over. That was a crazy game. That was a crazy game. I can't believe we sacrificed the queen there to win. That's insane. I wonder what the computer thinks of my decision. Okay, so it actually wants bishop e2. And then if rook here, then here. And if rook c8, it likes bishop f3. Oh, wait, what? If takes and takes and takes and takes, oh, okay, we have two knights for the rook. That was a mad game. Okay, I didn't calculate all of that. So I gave up the queen. It's only +1 for white. This is only +1. And this is actually really difficult. After rook in, knight to f4 is the best move. Knight e3 is best. You can't play rook takes because rook c1 picks up the queen. Now after f takes, white is significantly better, but it's actually quite difficult to convert this. And knight d3 already equalizes for us after rook c to c2. And here the engine wants knight f4 or king h1, and my opponent went knight h4. And now I'm winning after rook d2. Even so, this is not perfectly accurate. e4 is the way to fight here for white, and that's exactly what he played. That's a really good find. And after takes, rook e3 is actually winning for white, looking to lift the rook over. This is winning for white. After king back, the queen has to go back to c8. Now f6 is the only move to hold the advantage for me. And after queen in, king g8, queen takes. Now I'm winning. Now I'm winning. But then here I blunder queen d5, which would pick up my knight. Even then the position is equal. But then here, obviously, my opponent blunders the bishop, and that is game over. That's a ridiculous game. That was ridiculous. Was the queen sack brilliant? No, it wasn't. It was dubious, but I felt like we had enough firepower to go for it. Okay, we have another Caro Kann, so 3 out of 3 so far. Bishop e3, what is that? Okay, let's go bishop d6. This is a cool move, by the way, bishop to f5. Sacrificing the bishop because we have queen a5 check to pick the bishop back up. This is a move that I am a big fan of, just because it looks very cool. Let's take and get castled. I assume my opponent's going to go queenside, and we're going to have a bit of a fight on our hands, but I have removed white's best attacking piece, the bishop on d3. Okay, knight to f3. I like the look of queen a5. Trying to stop white from going queenside because a2 would hang. Delaying the development of our knight for a second. Okay, he goes kingside. Great. Let's go knight to d7. Our queen can always swing over somewhere. Okay, a4. I kind of like the queen on h5, but the queen could come back to c7. g6 looks interesting. We should probably start with rook to e8. I expect my opponent will play b4. And I think I just want to drop back here. Yeah, let's go back to c7. Okay, h3. I kind of like the idea of expanding on the king side a little bit and using our pawn majority. Could bring a rook to d8, but I think my opponent might try to challenge me down the f-file, so I'm going to delay that for now. Let's go f5. Maybe we bring our knight in via f6. This is a nice position. I like this position. I like this. So how does white push here? I mean, he could try a move like b5. Taking would be very bad, because then the d-pawn is a passer. Okay, we have rook h6. I think probably bishop to f4 makes sense. Forcing the bishop off the board. And getting my queen into the f4 square, which would be very nice. So I think I quite like that idea. Very common idea in the Tartakower. My opponent could go knight g5, blocking the attack, but he's kind of setting himself up for tactics or just generally having trapped pieces, so it doesn't seem very good to me. So, okay, I'm happy with this position. This is a very chill position. Okay, we have take. Opponent wants more trades. Now, I probably don't want a queen trade. Let me just check. Here. It's interesting, but I think I'd rather keep my queen on the board for now. Yeah, he was trying to lock my king with his dark squared bishop on h6, but it's very hard for white to actually get an attack on g7, so it's normally not that deep. Okay, he's going to go for this. Knight to f6 will defend. So I think that's probably fine. I could even just go knight f8 to be super safe. What else can we do? We could go rook e4. And then if take, knight here, knight here. Yeah, I like rook e4. Although rook e4, knight g5 hits the rook, actually. So that doesn't really make sense, right? Probably knight f6, there is knight to e5. Yeah, that's annoying. Maybe rook e6, but then again there's knight to f5. Sorry, g5. Yeah, no, that's no good. I could go queen f8. Queen d5? Oh, queen d5 is interesting, actually. Yeah, let's go queen d5. I like that. Just maybe trying to infiltrate, applying a little bit of pressure, not making any major commitment. I want to see knight g5, because then I want to go for a move like knight f6 or knight f8 and basically say, okay, why is your queen on h6? There's nothing here, because it's defended, right? White's dark squared bishop would have been such a great asset. For him, yeah, maybe it would. Maybe it would. I give rook e3. So if take. I don't have rook to e8 there, but I do have knight to f6 preparing rook e8. He has rook e1. He's going to double up if I don't take, though, so I should probably take. This is annoying. No, let's go to f6. If queen e5, I think we can go knight e4. And if take, The c pawn will be far too weak. I don't think white can go for that. So I think that's probably the way to play. If queen e7 hits my knight and my pawn on b7, but I don't think it's that big a deal. Okay, well, here I can just go for this, right? Yeah. He can't take, like, and trade the queen for the knight and the rook. That's just not going to work. It's not going to work. F-pawn push. Well, that just loses a pawn, though. So that doesn't really make any sense. Not right now, anyway. Okay, queen back to c1. Let's take and then bring the knight in. I like this position now. c3 is a major weakness, and we're stopping it coming to c4. I could even maybe try locking the pawn in place with something like a6, b5, keeping the pawn in place. Something like queen b3 probably makes a lot of sense. My king looks relatively safe. I always have to watch for queen e8 check. I always have to watch for that, but my opponent would have to move his knight and then play f3 to get my knight out of there. Rookless endgame with queens on the board. Pure cinema. Yeah, well, the queens could create a bit of chaos for sure. This c3 pawn really sucks. Queen c4 or queen b3 is on the way. And these pawns are weak. My opponent's ticking lower and lower on the clock. Oh, okay, f6 I don't like that much. Okay. Let's go queen b3. Queen e3. A? Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I missed that. Let's take. Offer a queen trade. Oh, I just blundered this. Oh dear, oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. I'm just going to get myself mated. Oh no. My opponent's low on time, though. Oh, queen h6, dude. Oh, I mean, to be fair, I don't think I can avoid that. Yeah, I mean, this is game over no matter what. Oh, bloody hell. Where was the wrong move? Yeah, I just need to go queen to d5. Or queen c4 or queen b3. Or just defending. Yeah, that's so clear now, but so low on time. There's not a lot I can do. I was really, really happy with the game in general, though. The game was really good. I don't think I've really did anything wrong. I mean, that was just a perfect Tartakower, but just messed it up in the endgame. Yeah. Oh, well, it is what it is. I just got stuck in time trouble. Didn't realise that f7 was hanging. It is what it is. Ay. Okay. Okay, we've got a modern. I hate playing against the modern. Hate it. Okay, let's go bishop back. I'm trying to go for something weird. Okay, let's go d4 now, because if d5, I should be able to push. F4. If here, I can give this check. If take, I'm going to take with the queen. Okay, knight g to e7. Go bishop e3, threatening this. Drop the bishop back. Ideas of g4. Yeah, I don't mind trading my bishop off for this knight, particularly because it's a closed position. I really don't mind that, because my opponent's taking the pressure off of the center, which makes this bishop a bit questionable. g4 I really want to play. I might even castle queenside. Okay, I'm just going to snap this. I'd rather have the knights than the bishops here. G4. Knight h6, pawn h3. The bishop and the knight cover h4. Okay, knight back to e7. h4, h5. So probably queen e2, preparing to castle queenside, maybe. We'll see. I don't have to commit yet. Okay, b5 on the board. I think I want my knight on e3. My opponent's also delaying castling, which makes a lot of sense. Let's bring the knight back. I want to prepare c3. I might even leave my king in the center or castle kingside. I don't have to make my mind up just yet. Okay, h5 played. Knight g5, take. I don't really like that. Knight e3, take is interesting. That is interesting. My knight is watching the f6 square, which could become a target in the future. If I can execute bishop h4 ideas, it could be interesting. Okay, what's the point of that? Do I want a queen trade? Probably not. Let's go c3. b4 could be played. Yeah, there we go. What does that do? Can I castle kingside? Well, no, he's going to take, isn't he? Do I take him? Probably not. Probably queen d2. If b3, a3, I'd probably go for that. Okay, rook b8 is good. Let's castle. Let's castle. These bishops are not that impressive. Maybe this bishop can come out to h6, but even if I have to commit to g5, I can always meet knight f5 with taking. Okay, he takes here. Let's go knight takes. I like this idea of bearing down on f6. Yeah, the knight is good there. Take. No, I don't like that. What do I do with this bishop? Let's try and get rid of this knight. It's very annoying. I want it gone. I want it gone. King h1, rook g1 ideas look valid. Take, I probably take with the b pawn. I do have a target here. It is definitely a target, but I can also consider some play on the b file. Because black isn't castled. Well, I should probably take here first. You can't play rook b2 because I have a check or this check. It's a gf5. Let's go for a rook trade. Now I'm very happy with the position. I'm happy with this. I think. Because this bishop is just so bad. Something like knight to g5 maybe. Yeah. I mean, I have mating ideas. Like, that is very, very apparent. Or maybe better would be queen e3, queen h3. Okay, let's snap that. How are you stopping that? Here? Maybe? You can take on a2 if you want. That's pretty suicidal. You see this bishop just isn't participating in the game. Okay, he's going to try and run. Which is not a bad idea, actually. Not a bad idea. I think I want this. think I want this to try and expose the bishop. I don't think my infiltration is going anywhere. I think that's going to remain a threat. I'm giving up a2 because I don't want to spend time defending it. This diagonal shouldn't be opening up, at least not anytime soon. This bishop, yeah, it could come to e8 to try and defend, but yeah, we do see that. Okay, let's go rook g1. Now this bishop is lost. There we go. Let's give a check. Give a check. And this is going very well now. Let's take. There's several things I can do here. But to be honest, I don't think I want to attack. I think I just want to come back and defend. Maybe I want my bishop over here. Queen e4, yeah. Let's block up the g file. Oh my god, I'm so low on time. Wait, am I throwing? Am I throwing? Surely not. I think I just pushed the h-pawn. Okay, my opponent is playing well here. And I'm blundering my queen as well. I think... Oh my god, I'm going to lose this, aren't I? Queen h3, and I lose. Yeah, that's it. That's it. How have I thrown that? Oh my god. This is going horribly, horribly wrong. I mean... It was in this position where I had to make a decision of like... I mean, I'm up a piece, but my bishop has nothing to see. My king is weak. Rook g2 is one of the best moves. Oh, queen e1, I missed this. This would be better because it stops queen e4. Ay, okay. This is still okay, but I'm actually in a little bit of trouble now. This is actually equal. This is equal now. Because I'm just so exposed. Oh my god. I mean, I'm happy with the way I played the game up until the very end, but I am having too many games like that. I need to be far, far quicker on the clock. Okay, we're against a collie. Let's play this, kind of like a semi-Slav. I'm probably playing for e5. I want e5. Let's castle first. b3. Okay, let's strike with e5, because I want to take my opponent out of theory. Bishop's under attack. This has gone perfectly. This is brilliant. This is brilliant. Okay. I think I should take the diagonal. Let's take the diagonal. If take, I'll take with the knight, I think. Okay, let's defend. This is a fantastic position. Could even look for ideas on d3. Yeah, I could take with the pawn, but I don't see a reason. Let's take with the knight. Oh, if I just blundered horrifically. Oh, wait. Okay, oh, well, that doesn't actually help me, no, because he's still going to... No, he can't go e4 anymore. Oh, he couldn't go e4 before. Maybe I'm bugging. Maybe e4 wasn't an option. But okay. Okay, we have a 3 versus 2, which I'm happy to see. That's good. Okay, let's set up potential knight to f5 idea, f4 ideas even. Uh-huh. Go rook d8. Okay, I'm just going to go h6 to give my king some luft. I'm not sure how I want to continue, but I'm going to try and play quickly. Okay, what's the plan? What's the plan? Do I have a sacrifice? No, that doesn't do anything. I could double on the d file. I could try and get a knight in. I don't love that. I think I'll start with bishop e4. Just placing my bishop on a more useful diagonal. If bishop d3, I have threats of taking and ruining the structure, maybe. I could look for a queen trade, but I don't really want a queen trade. Okay, knight d2. Do I have sacrifices on g2? Here, here, here. King back. I don't think there's a continuation. Worth noting, but I think we just drop back the bishop now. If e4, then I get the f4 square, which is really good. I mean, obviously, e4 might just be hanging a pawn. It is scary to align, though, because after bishop f3, f5, or even bishop d3, f5, f3, I might be losing the bishop there. So the safer bet is probably knight to f4 if e4, which might be what my opponent's calculating, whether he can go e4 or not. But yeah, I would be very happy to see this, because I get my bishop targeting the bishop and the pawn. If bishop back to f1. Okay, knight back to b1. That's odd. Okay, I should consider if I can take. Here, 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 here. King h1. I don't see it. How do I want to play this? Maybe get my knight into e4. That might make sense. I guess knight c3 would be the plan for white. Okay, take, take. Let's get the d file. Knight c3. Okay, he goes for a rook trade. Let's accept. Let's take the d file for ourselves. You see now why having the Luft square is quite useful, because I don't have to worry about back rank. Okay, queen d2. Okay, I can't take the knight. Okay, I'm going to try and play this endgame. I think I have more active pieces. That's going to be my argument. If I can trade my knight for his bishop, I'm probably happy. And also, this endgame should favor me because I have a 3-on-2 on the queen side. So it should be difficult for white to create a passer. Okay. Let's go bishop d3. Restricting the white pieces. If e4, then knight c3, bishop f3, f6, or maybe just bring the king. I have options, Okay, bishop f3. Does he actually want to take that? Maybe, because it does give me an isolated pawn. So maybe I just come here. Covering e4 and e2. Well, mostly e4 to stop the knight coming in. If knight c4, I feel like I snap that. Because it splits his pawns. Yeah, I snap that. Definitely. Then I just bring my king up. I think this is quite a good transformation. If here, 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 ace, no, let's just get the king up. Let's just get the king up. The king can't come to d2 because knight b1 picks up the a3 pawn, so that's actually quite useful to note, because the king can't come to either of these squares. Normally a bishop is better when there's pawns on both sides of the board, but the fact that I have a pawn majority, I think is a big deal. Bring the king. This doesn't really concern me. I think we just go b6, and yeah, and that's fine. My king's coming into c5 to apply pressure. You can't come to d2 because of the check. Or even this check could be an idea, targeting f2 and forcing the king back. Okay, let's push. If I take, then take. I don't want that. Okay, now I'm going to go after this, because now after a4, knight back, there's no a5. So I'm just going to win the pawn. And then I have a passed a pawn. Yeah, so he's going to give it up, but it's not going to be enough. I'm going to win too many pawns. And then we're just going to invest. Let's just push. Let's be simple. Go f6. Let's push. Bishop takes, pawn takes isn't really a concern. Push. Could also just grab here, to be fair. And my opponent resigns. GG. Yeah, there's nothing that white can do here. Yeah, I mean, I want to see, actually, whether going for the trade was winning. Yeah, this is completely winning. This is -3, this trade. Now, if white... In this position, it's actually -1. Even though material is equal, I have more active pieces. These two pawns are weak. My pawns are very strong, because this bishop can't do anything. And I'm restricting the movement of this knight massively. If knight e4, I mean, that loses a piece. But let's say it didn't lose a piece. Let's say we had a position like this. I mean, this should still be winning. This should still be winning for me, because these pawns are weak and my king is marching up the board. And this king struggles to get into the game because knight b1 is always a threat to pick up the pawn. That was a really interesting endgame. Really interesting. There we go. Okay, we got a very, very good opponent here. Let's play the Alapin. Go e5. d4. I've been playing the Alapin a lot recently. Bishop c4. Yeah, this is the way to go. Trying to ruin the structure, potentially. We are trying to gambit the c3 pawn. Okay, d6 I think we have to take. Or, no, we don't actually. We don't. We can delay. Because the pawn can't push to d5. That's the thing we need to watch for. I assume we can castle? Yeah, that looks fine. That looks fine. We're castled quickly. Bishop e7, knight c3? Yeah, sure. If knight b6, bishop d3, I have a very nice bishop. Black's problem is that this bishop is locked in. It's like a French bishop. It's not very good. That's great for us, obviously. And, yeah. Black will struggle to get his bishop developed. He might have to try and fianchetto it. Okay, we have knight c3. bc3. Yeah, I guess this is the issue. I mean, I don't think it's that big a problem, to be fair. Because even though c3 is weak... Yeah, black can't castle. Rook b1 castle queenside. Bishop e3, applying some pressure. Bishop g5? No. No. Here castles. Bishop e8, I assume, is trying to be played to trade rooks, but that's not really that big a deal. Let's start with bishop e3. I mean, I think this is the most active square for the bishop. Just watching this, stopping bishop c5. If a6 is played to make sure a7 isn't a target, then bishop b6 could be very annoying for black to deal with. So I don't think he can play a6. g5. Okay, that's a big move, but I think we just go h3. Although, that is a pawn. But then he's going to win this. If h3, h5, take. We could throw in rook b1, castle queenside, h3, h5. Does that change anything? Take. Issues on f7 potentially. Bishop back to e2. Bishop c6, f4. Okay, that's interesting. Let's start with rook b1. Although maybe I'm inviting g4, but to be honest, I think I'd trade this for this. Because if this, I can actually probably take, and if take, then take. Yeah, so he castles. Let's go h3. I don't mind this. Okay, h6 surprises me. That surprises me. I guess a7 is also weak. Now, do we push our a-pawn? Does that achieve anything? I don't think so. Does bishop b5 do anything? Not really. Maybe we try and reroute our bishop to a better diagonal. I like that idea. Because then we have pressure on b7 and the knight. And that looks very good. c3 is weak. I might be able to push it to c5, but I don't really want to. If bishop e8, offering me a rook trade. Okay, king a8 looks strange. Already it looks like there could be sacrifices. Also, knight d4, you can't take because I'll take. You also can't take because I'll take. Hold on, this looks wrong. This looks really, really wrong for black. Knight b5 could be coming. Is taking a threat? Whoa, what? Hold on, rook b6? Bishop c5? Rook a6? Here, take, check. Here. I'm going to go for it. I think knight takes might be the better move after bishop c5 and rook a6. This is complicated. I mean, black has to go bishop c5. Yeah. Let's sack. I don't know if this is the best continuation, but this is what I'm going to go for. Okay, but now I win. I think there were probably better lines for black, but this is game. Wow. Wow. Rook sacrifice. This warrants a bit of a game review, I think. That was unreal. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Okay. Did it actually work, though? Okay, well, I get a brilliant move. Yeah, this is a brilliant move. And it's the only win. Rook b6 is the best move. Rook a6 is brilliant. So after ba6, knight c6 is the only move, not bishop c6. Because after bishop c6, if I take, then rook d1. So knight c6 is the idea. And here I thought my opponent had to take. And here after takes and here, I have take, take, and take. And here I have 2 bishops for the rook. And this doesn't work because I have bishop d6 with check first. And after the king moves, I can move my bishop. And I lose my c-pawn. But we have equal pawns, and the 2 bishops will just dominate the rook. So ba6, knight c6, bishop e3, and here knight d8 is a key move. It's the only way to win this. And then king a7, rook d7. I mean, I'm just up way too much material. Okay, that was actually quite cool. That was actually quite cool, I have to say. Not to toot my own trumpet too much, but... Okay, we have a Scandi. I'm going to play my very chill variation, which I think I actually learned from Naroditsky. I think this is what Naroditsky has recommended before. And yeah, I like this. Let's go d4, c4, knight c3. Bishop f4 maybe? Okay, I'm not really sure what bishop b4 does. I can go knight e5, which carries a threat of here, here, and take. So yeah, he's going to take there. But now I have the bishop pair, which I'm happy about. Wait, I probably should get rid of his bishop, thinking about it. Because his light squares are far too weak. I was considering bishop g5, but to be honest, this looks rather nice for me. Knight c6, surely? Surely? And I mean, this is great. And now I'm just winning, actually, after bishop to a3. That's game over. And yeah, winning the control of the light squares is just crushing here. So, okay, I mean, the game isn't over, but I should win in exchange. There's no c5, of course, because my knight's in the way. Okay. Interesting move, but it doesn't really do anything. Okay, so I either play take, take, and take, or if I retreat, then c5, trying to save the rook. Although then the rook hangs, actually. So he's going to have to move his knight. Is it that deep? I'll go knight. I'll go knight e5. I'll go knight e5. Well, if I give this check and the king moves over... Oh, yeah, I suppose the rook actually does hang, so I completely missed that, to be fair. Good spot, L underscore. Good spot. Okay. So here this knight is out of the game. Doesn't this just force a queen trade? Because the knight has no moves. Yeah, no, I did actually just miss that. I did see knight e7, but I didn't realize the rook was hanging. This seems to force this, because you can't go for this because the rook hangs. So queen c8 is forced, and then I just trade queens. Or he gives me a knight. Okay, that seems like a bit of tilt. I mean, this knight was also hanging. Well, I'm not going to take this and let the knight into the game. I'm going to push. And yeah, okay, my opponent resigns. GG. Yeah, I did just completely miss that tactic. So, good spot, L underscore. In this position, the critical move would be knight e7 check. And after the king moves, the rook hangs on a8. I have to say I completely missed that. But yeah, I mean, this was just a great... I mean, it's just a great position. So here after bishop b4... Hold on. So I saw this idea of queen a4. And after knight c6, knight e5 actually just wins? Oh, right. Because after the queen defends, there's bishop f3? Yeah. And the knight's just lost. So I tried to change the move order. I was like, okay, we'll go knight e5 first, because now this is a threat, because knight c6 I just take. But actually, I didn't need to prepare it. I just need to go for it. But okay, it's winning regardless at the end of the game. Kenzie, you can see my elo down here. You can see my elo down here. All right. We're going to have another Caro. Knight c3. Yep. We got an alien gambit. So I'll show you guys what I like to do against the alien gambit, which is not accept it, not play h6 for the time being. We're stopping knight e5 with knight d7. That's important. If you allow the knight into e5, f7 could just be lost. So bishop c4 will go pawn e6. Castles. Bishop. Is it bishop d6? Yeah, bishop d6. And then after I castle, I'll probably go h6. Basically just delaying as long as possible. Hold on. Now you can't retreat. Now you can't retreat. I'm not going to let him play the alien gambit. No, because I don't know the theory. I think my opponent's messed up. I mean, he's going to go for a sack because he doesn't have anything else. If bishop takes, I probably don't take and take. Okay, that's interesting. Does it work? Take, take, take. Take here. No, that can't work, surely. I think, yeah, I mean, I have to grab the piece. Otherwise, he's going to retreat. I mean, I'm up a piece, but my pawns are very weird. He does have some counterplay. Maybe h8 is better. No, I should keep an eye on h7. Sorry, on g6. Let's go king h7. h4 might be on the way. Okay, we have bishop g5 first. This looks reasonable. What else? Rook e8. Preparing knight f8. I kind of like that. Although there is bishop f7. Nah, let's go queen a5. Just hitting the bishop. Asking white what he's going to do about it. Because if he takes, then I mean... No, not rook takes, sorry. The knight hangs. So if bishop takes, knight takes, I mean, the attack seems to be gone. If he defends the bishop with h4, which he could do. What do we want there? He does go for that. Maybe rook a to e8. Yeah, probably this. h5 can't be played because the bishop hangs. So that's fine. If this bishop moves, this rook is going to hang, by the way. Okay, he's going to try and create some attack on my pawn. I could try for a queen trade. He's not going to accept, though. He's going to play something like queen h3, which is slightly concerning. Do I double? I could sack, but the bishop will hang. So probably not. There's actually a good bit of play here for white, I have to say. How do I go about this? Knight g4? Bishop takes, rook takes. If knight g4, what if he doesn't take? What if he takes on d7? Well, I still take. If here and h5, I take here. I think this probably works. It looks really convoluted. But I think the simple fact is the bishop can't move. Yeah. And my queen keeps an eye on this bishop, stopping the h-pawn from moving. Okay. Do I have a threat? I wouldn't say I have a threat, but I would want to put my d knight on f6. I mean, I know I could take on f2 in some lines. Okay, bishop back. That is a strong move. That's a strong move. Probably bishop here, but then c3. Can I threaten mating stuff with like queen h5? That's probably the way to go. Probably the way to go. This is very tentative. So I'm sacking the knight because I think I want to go rook e1, queen h4. I can't defend both knights because my queen's under attack. She can't defend both knights at the same time. So this is a bit of a nuts position. Now remember, I was up a piece to begin with, so even if I lose a piece, I probably okay material-wise. This open f-file is super, super useful. Okay, my opponent's got a bit of time to think through this. Take. That is a move. Oh, I've run out of time. Oh, bloody hell. Ran out of time. Oh, God. I mean, this is what I was going for. This is what I wanted. Hitting the queen. Threatening infiltrations on f3. I was also considering bringing this knight over, but I thought my queen was a bit stuck now. I just ran out of time. That's really bad. That's really, really bad. Knight g4 is the best move here. Knight e5 is also a move, which is ridiculous. Okay. Well, that's very frustrating. That's very frustrating. Whatever. I mean, I just need to move quicker. It's that simple. I don't really have an excuse. I just need to move quicker. Because I'm taking way too much time on decisions that I just need to make far faster. Especially when I'm already better, you know? Like, I know I'm better there. I just need to make a decision. Okay, let's go bishop f5, playing against this. My opponent's going to try and play knight to e4, pawn f4, I assume. I think that's what he's going for. Okay, bishop e2, sure. Let's go bishop e7, because there's no point putting the bishop on d6, because this knight is going to come in. Most likely. Okay, let's throw my knight onto the e4 square. Let's go knight d7. There's no knight h4 because I'm covering. If knight to e5, I'll snap it before f4 can be played. If this, I'll snap. Because if knight e5 and pawn f4, then I'm in a bit of danger. Okay. To be fair, I might actually just take with the e-pawn. Okay, a3. Let's go bishop f6, getting on this diagonal. Fighting the bishop. Don't mind that. Maybe h6 at some point. I think I want to take with the e-pawn. It feels counterintuitive, but, like, because I'm taking kind of away from the center, but I kind of like this. Let's go a6. My opponent's going for a minority attack. This is a Carlsbad structure. Okay, queen b3. Do I want to reconfigure? Probably. Also apply some pressure to b4. Okay, b5 is coming. Let's go bishop d6. Targeting the king side. b5. Let's take once. I can look to play on the a file. I'm going to pin the pawn to the queen. And the bishop is also on the b file, so that could cause issues. Bishop a3. Do I take? I'm going to. I'm going to. Not sure if it's a good idea, but I'm going to do it. Maybe I could have considered c5 a bit, but... Okay, queen b4. Okay. Take knight f6 is kind of interesting. Rook c6 is kind of nice, actually. Although I am going to lose this, aren't I? Take knight f6, bishop e2 is annoying. I could try rook c4, looking for this, which is interesting. I think I'm going to go for it. I like that idea. So I'm going to sack the exchange to try to fix my pawn structure. Now, after takes and takes, there's no rook b1 because my bishop covers. Okay, the queen comes in. I think I just want a queen trade. I think I want a queen trade. I could take on f3, but it doesn't seem to lead to anything. Come on, give me a queen trade. I know you want to. I mean, he clearly doesn't, but... Even if it's not the best move, I think that it is complicated. I feel like I go for a draw here if he offers it me. I'm happy with a draw. This is a better version of the trade. If he's going to trade, he should trade on b6, I think. Because he can go rook a1, rook a7. Okay, well this is nice. Let's take. What? This decision confuses me. Let's go b4. I guess the question is whether a rook trade benefits me or him. I feel like him. Okay, I'm going to get my bishop out of there. For a start. e4. Well, that's just a free pawn. Because the f-pawn is pinned. Let's get back out of there. So now I'm equal in material, I think. Okay, if here... Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. What is that? Hold on. c3? I guess I could have taken on f3, actually. I have to say I missed that. c2. Bishop defends. He could try sacking the rook for the pawn and the bishop, but b3 is on the way if he doesn't, and then the game is over. Okay. Let's go b3. Not really concerned about this. Uh-huh. That's a good move. That's a good move from him. But actually I get this now. Yeah, but he has king to d2. Okay. He wins a pawn. He wins a pawn. I need to try and get my d pawn in, maybe? d4. There is increment. There is increment. Missed mate in 1? Did I? Did I? Oh, wait. If I... No, there is this. It's still not clear, though. Let's go h5. It's going to win that. Oh, he doesn't? What? Okay. Give a check. He's got to go to c3, I think. That's forced. No, there is actually that. That's a good point. Let's keep the king out. The king is cut off, which is very important. Although my king doesn't have a clear way in, so this might just be a draw. I think this is a draw. I'm not sure how I try to push. Because I can't let his king in. Is this endgame good for me? I don't know. Okay, we have a draw by repetition. I mean, that was a very interesting game. This is all drawn. I think once I lost my B pawn, it's a draw, unfortunately. So did I miss mate in 1? No, but this is better because now I get b3, b2, so that would be winning. Was there a mate in 1 at any point? I don't think so. Yeah, this is completely winning, but I just lost the b pawn, unfortunately. Why cb5? Okay, let's go back. Let's go back. So here I played cb5. Now, cb5 is actually the best move. How do I explain cb5? How do I explain... Yeah, I was winning. How do I explain cb5? Well, I guess, let's say I do nothing. Then I'm concerned about bc6. Because after bc6, my c-pawn is a backwards pawn. So I'd rather have doubled pawns than a backwards pawn, if that makes sense. Yeah, I was very happy with my rook sack, though. Rook c4 is the best move, actually. So, yeah, interesting game. Okay, we have an Alekhine's defense. Let's play this two-pawn attack, which I'm a big fan of. We'll see if my opponent knows the theory. e6 is a mistake. No, he goes for the best move. Okay, g6. G6? I've never seen that. I'm just going to try and crash through. I mean, d6 is going to come at some point. Or d5. Oh no, d5 doesn't look right. So I'm just not going to take. I'm going to keep my pawn wedge. This already looks lost for black. Yeah, this looks completely lost. He's just going to get mated. And that's the Alekhine's defense beaten in like 14 moves. Yeah, that's a bit ridiculous. Yeah, I have to say I've never seen g6, and it's a bad move. You have to go for e6, really. Sorry, wait, e6. I thought d6 was the way to play. Actually, e6 is really strong in this position. Wow, okay. Take, take, take. And then this diagonal is weak. Knight h3 is strong. Knight f3 is strong. This pawn structure kind of sucks. Okay, well, that's not a bad win. Yeah, all right. Well, the h-pawn... Harry the h-pawn wins me the game. All right, we've got a Panov Caro Kann. Let's go for the fianchetto. Attack the bishop. This is theory. We had this earlier, actually. I think we had this exact position. And this is a line I really enjoy. Go bishop g4. Do it. Wait, is that a good decision? No, I think knight to a5 actually makes more sense. Because if take and take, b7 is going to hang. I actually regret my decision. Okay, take. No, I don't like that. I'm actually going to come back. That was a bit silly. I shouldn't have done that. I should have gone knight a5 first. Yeah, I'm not happy with that move. Okay. We'll see what happens, though. I'm really not sure how I justify this maneuver. It's not justifiable because h3 is an improvement for white. So it doesn't actually make sense, but okay. d5, that's fine. Because we're going to open up this diagonal. Okay, he's going to try and trade the bishops. That makes a lot of sense. I mean, I can grab his bishop. Might as well. Okay, let's take. I think I probably want e6. Oh, no, actually, no, there's d6, isn't there? This is not clear. a6? a6 makes sense. My queen keeps an eye on the knight. Okay, rook fe1 is annoying. If e6, d6. Don't like that. Could consider going after this pawn, but it feels like I'm getting sidetracked. Maybe queen d6. Just blockading this pawn. Keeping an eye on the knight, preparing something like rook to d8. I can always tuck the bishop back if I absolutely have to. I mean, these pawns are weak, but white is more active than me for the time being. Yo, Happy Chas, how's it going, mate? Good to see you. Good to see you. This is an interesting position. I mean, d5 is weak, but can I exploit it? I don't know. What does knight e5 do? Prepare knight c4? I would assume. It's not a bad shout, actually. So let's say rook here, knight here. Yeah, that's annoying. That's really annoying. I'm going to go knight d7. I'm going to meet knight c4 with queen c5. I don't want to fix his structure for him. Wait. Oh, I did just hang this, but I do win this, but then he wins that. Okay, I think I've messed this up. I do have b5. But then knight b6. The knight is covering for the time being. Rook here, rook here. Rook here. d6 could be a problem. Okay, I'm going to go rook fd8. Keeping an eye on the pawn. Knight b6. Rook b8. It should be okay. This is difficult. I wasted a lot of time with bishop g4, h3, and bishop f5. It was just the wrong decision. I should have gone knight to a5 immediately. The Panov is just a difficult line to play against. It is difficult. Knight b6 is coming. Yeah, but I mean, if knight b6 comes, then rook b8 doesn't look too scary. I'm more concerned about the knight supporting the d6 push, I think. Hold on, now I get this. Now I'm happy. I think. Bishop d5, knight d5, rook d5, knight b7. I think that's probably the best try. If you don't take the bishop, I put the bishop on e6, so I'm up a pawn temporarily, but very temporarily. Yeah, I think this should just be a draw. Let's try and get a pair of rooks off. I mean, if take and take... Let's make sure I'm active here. We do not want to leave the rook on a8 being passive. I want it somewhere like b1. And then if these pawns come off the board, it's an easy draw. Okay, considering I messed up the opening a bit, I cannot be mad about that. Yeah, this is the idea, and this is just a draw. And there we go. GG. Yeah. I mean, like I said, considering I messed up the opening, that's not bad. My opponent offers a rematch. I'm going to take it. See, okay, we have a Vienna. See if he knows his theory. Vienna Gambit. Yeah, that's correct from him. So queen f3, very active queen. Pressure in the center. This is all good stuff. All good stuff. Take, take. This is a really good line for us, actually. My opponent's messed up a bit. I think we might be almost winning. That is a good attempt, actually. It's a good attempt, but we're still much better. I'm ready to castle. Knight f4 could be a problem. I think I just snap this and then castle. My knight defends and my queen defends. Wait, no, it's queen here, isn't it? Because if castles, we win. And can you guys see why castles loses? Can you guys see why castles loses for black? Or basically loses. Well, we have bishop h6, and then we pick up the rook after g6. I mean, h5 doesn't work, does it? We just come to g7. Okay, this is actually a way to play. This is a way to play, but it's incredibly risky. It's incredibly risky. I think we just have to retreat. Yeah, bishop h6 is correct. Carrot Patch and Mr. XD5 154. Yeah, these bishops are good, but my knight is also pretty good. I mean, he can go h4 with tempo and then go h3, but after g3, I think we're fine. I think we're fine. There's no more pawns to be pushed. I think I should be able to defend. I think I should be okay. Okay, where do I want to put my queen? I'm choosing between... Well, f4 doesn't really make sense. f3 doesn't make sense. So d3 or f2, I guess? I like f2 because it keeps an eye here, I think. Okay, g4. h3? No, h3 is a target. Although h3, king h1, still a target. Let's see. What do we go for? What do we go for? Knight to f4? I like that. I want this bishop. I want that bishop. Okay. g3, h4 I can't allow. If take, then take. h3. He removes his rook somewhere. Let's say rook g3. Okay, I'm going to do this. So this doesn't work because knight takes. I mean, there is bishop takes, which is interesting, although things get wild after queen f7, I feel like. Like rook g2, king h1. I'm not sure what's happening there. Goes rook g3. So if take, then take. It's probably not good. Yo, Pranay, how's it going? So I think king h2 makes sense. Bishop h4. Queen e2. c3 is hanging. I have to say I didn't consider c3. Pawn h4 surprises me a bit. Bishop d2 probably. And I want to go rook g1 to defend. And then I can take. Oh, well, I'm happy to see that. I'm happy to see that. Okay, I just need to sort my defense out. Let's grab this. Now we're going to try and win. First... Well, what's first? Does rook b1 do anything? Well, we cut the king off. Can I target e6? Yes, I can. Let's target e6. This is defended. Okay, let's target e6 first. How does he defend? Queen d7? With ideas of rook f8? Rook f1? He does have that. True, true. Wait, is that a blunder? The rook has no safe squares. And it needs to keep an eye on this rook. And rook g7 is met with queen e6 check first, and then I pick this up. Okay, I think that's a blunder. I think queen d7 had to be played. But then I have his queen playing defense, which is obviously good for me. I'm up a pawn, but it's not that impressive. I mean, my extra pawn is on g2, which is just a target anyway. But I think this should be winning now. Don't see how my opponent tries the... Yeah, and he resigns. This is just game over. Because if I take this rook, then his attack is gone. The engine suggests rook g7. But after queen e6, queen d7, king d7, bishop g3, rook g3, he can win c3, but it's not quite going to be enough. Queen d7 saved you from getting trapped. Well, if queen d7 in this position... No, not this position. Queen d7 in this position, it is the second best move. And here I think I was considering rook a to f1, and then if rook here, I just move my queen somewhere. And I try and immobilize the bishop, because I will trade the queens and be better. So this is what I was going for, basically. You meant queen e6. Sorry, what do you mean? Oh, right, yeah, I get you, yeah. My queen could have been trapped, but I always have queen e6. I'm not sure, I think I messed up at some point. But this I know is good for me. Queen g3 is best. So here taking is wrong. Knight to f4 immediately is the way to go, threatening something like take, and check. Now with castles, now knight e6, fe6, not that. And queen g6, keeping the g-file shut and preparing rook f7. Ah, right, okay then. Okay, that makes sense. Very interesting. Very interesting. Okay, next game. We're against a Caro. I'm going to play the Panov, which is what I always, well, pretty much always play against the Caro. As we saw earlier, the Panov is very difficult to play against with the black pieces. I like this bishop to g5 line. I feel like it's very tricky. Because most people play knight to f3. But there's some weird lines after knight to f3 and bishop to g4, which I'm not a fan of. So I like bishop g5. It stops the very complicated forced lines, which I don't want to get into. Oh, it's freezing. It's freezing. I don't know why I don't just put the heating on, but I just can't justify it. I'd rather be cold than spend money. So, okay, my opponent's taking a lot of time already, which is a good sign. Obviously indicates that he doesn't know what to do here. It is a kind of tricky position. I think the best move is bishop e6, which is what I play with black, preparing g6, bishop g7, but making sure that d5 is well defended. On bishop to e6, there's still interesting lines after c5, which is what I quite like. Basically saying, okay, you serve no function anymore because I don't actually want to take. Also, e6 is one of the main moves here. That's what you see very often. Knight e4, I think, is losing because we get d5. There are some interesting lines here, but they end in white's favor. We basically just have to watch for these checking ideas and queen b6 ideas, but they're not good enough. So we have queen d4, and if the knight moves, we'll just swoop up and take the... Well, we'll swoop in and take the pawn on e4 and just be up a pawn. Crazy to me that a 2250 doesn't know this. Yeah, I carrot patch. You just gotta be cold than spend money, and then this just gives me a pawn. And to be honest, I'm happy to trade my bishop. If anything, this is my good bishop because my central pawns are on light squares, and here I'm just clearly better. There's no e6 either because the queen hangs. If queen a5 check, bishop d2. Queen b6. I assume, to be fair, I could sack the pawn and just castle. That's probably the easiest thing. Yeah. Yeah, now e6. I think I still just castle, though. You can have this pawn if you want, so I'm really not fussed. Because his king's stuck in the center. Okay, we have bishop c5, preparing to castle. What do we want? What do we want? Rook e1, f2 hangs. Take bishop takes looks good for him. He can't put a rook on d8. I think I'm just going to go b3. Why is it better to have dark squared bishop when your pawns are on the light squares? Well, my pawns control the light squares in the center, and then my bishop can control the dark squares. In theory, that's how it would work. Okay, rook d1 looks reasonable. Actually, I might go h3. I don't want bishop g4 to happen. Okay, let's take with the queen. Like I said, there's no rook d8. The bishop covers. I want something like rook d1. Bishop e6. Just come back here. If my opponent wants to play f6 to force my bishop out, he can go for it. If he wants to go g5 to force my bishop out, I'm willing to allow him access to d8 with tempo for the cost of weakening his king. Fine by me. I mean, to be fair, we could also consider if g5 sacrificing. That wouldn't be ridiculous. And if after f5, the bishop is defended by the queen. So maybe black's okay, but it's complicated. I mean, there's no need to sack, though. My opponent's only got 20 seconds left. So, you know, this is very, very tough. Okay. Yeah, I mean, f6 is not a great move. Not a move you want to play anyway. Let's go rook d1. He's going to go rook d8. And he achieves his dream of rook d8, but it's not really a big deal. Not a big deal. Where do we want the queen? Let's come to e4 with tempo. Oh, wait, no, actually, the bishop is defended. But, ooh. Ooh, okay. Oh, no, he's coming to c6, okay. I can give this check. He can go bishop e6, but let's just say the king moves. I don't really have a follow-up anyway. Bishop g3 looks reasonable. If here, I can give this check, actually. And then even this is interesting. I quite like that. If the bishop moves, then I can always trade queens if I want. And my opponent's too low on time. Okay, that's a good move. That is a very, very good move. Stopping knight to g6. I think I just trade the queens. I am up a pawn, remember, all the way from the opening. Okay, let's try and get my knight involved. Yeah, trade is fine by me. Here, check. There we go. And then the game is over. Alright, GG. Yeah, my opponent just messed up in the opening, and I think he fought back quite nicely, to be fair. But we are just, you know, +1 the whole time by the looks of it, which is kind of what I was going for. Wait, there's a position where bishop f6 is a move. Here, bishop f6? Oh my god. That's ridiculous. So, if queen takes, then queen d5 picks up the bishop. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. If pawn takes, then queen g6, and the king is just obliterated. And then rook d5. Okay. And if rook takes, then rook d7, queen e8, picking the rook up. And then I'm up 2 pawns. Okay, that's ridiculous. I'm not seeing bishop f6 there. But yeah, I have to say, my opponent did fight back rather well. I felt like there should have been a better way for me to punish him in this position. Here, knight to f3 is best, offering the pawn just because I want to get castled, and my opponent hasn't moved a single piece other than his queen. So here, castles is best. But then b3 is too slow. Better is bishop e3, offering a trade. And then after castles, I have the open f-file. Oh, it also likes d6. And after bishop d7, knight e5? Or knight g5? Knight e5, let's say rook a8, or no, not rook fd8, rook ad8. And queen d4, okay. Oh, right, yeah. And then like c5, b4, and that's just going to be game. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Let's go. Hamanm. Alright, we have a Nimzovich Larsen. We hate to see it. Alright, let's play in a Slav manner, or a Caro Kann manner, whichever one you want to say. Oh god, we hate to see this. This is gross. He's going for this, which is so damn annoying. So annoying. You know what? Wait, no. Let's not blunder something stupid. Let's just take. I mean, I can't stop his knight from coming in, can I? I might even castle queenside, you know. I might delay castling. Can I go queenside? I feel like I can. Let's do it. Let's do it for the culture. Okay, knight c3. Let's go bishop to d6. Take. I need to be careful about the c-file, so I should shift my king over. Also have to watch this diagonal. Oh, wait. No, I checked that. This is just better for me. I thought I checked that, and then my opponent played it, and I was like, wait a second. I was sure I checked that, but it turns out I did check that. Also, we have take, take, and take. That looks rather nice. Counter sack. Did we do it? Is there a need? We could just go F5. Could just go F5 and be chill. Does it make sense? Does it make sense? Bishop takes. I mean, if he doesn't take back, then what are you doing? Take. I mean, take, take, take. Queen under attack. G2 under attack. Let's say Queen E7. Rook G2. King H1. The other rook is brought over. It should be winning, but it's a little bit unclear. F5 feels like a more simple move. Just stopping E4. Okay, maybe that was a mistake. I could sack the rook for this. Although that seems to be the end of the attack. I could still do this. Queen H5 though. I think probably rook D to E8. So this doesn't come with a fork anymore. He can have that, but I mean, he's opening up his own king. I'm going to try and come over this way, I think. Okay. Let's just improve my queen a little bit. Let's block the bishop to prepare rook H8. Also knight E4. Okay, let's go knight E4. Trying to kick the knight out. Also threatening D2. Let's take with the pawn. So I want to keep my queen on the board. Because, I mean, my opponent's king could be wide open. Oh my god, oh my god. Dude. I literally saw that, and I've just still blundered it. What am I doing? What am I doing? I have no explanation. I mean, this is pretty simple. Yeah, I don't know. Even a move like Queen E6, like even preparing a queen trade, I don't know. That's really dumb. I'm happy with the way I played that, going queenside and trying to attack, but that was just a ridiculous blunder. I mean, that was so obvious. All right. Let's try and reset. We've got an Alapin Sicilian. Bishop F5. Is that a move? Is that a move? I think... I don't know the lines here. I feel like knight to A3 is an interesting attempt. It looks interesting to me. Okay, knight F6, knight in. Bishop c4. Do I just go for it? If rook c8... I'm going to go bishop c4. Let's do it. Let's do it. Okay. Let's go bishop e3, blocking the check. I still have this ready. If it takes... Okay, knight g4 I wasn't too concerned about. Should... I have this. Because I have this. So you can't take the bishop. Okay, that's a lovely little tactic. So the king has to run. But the moment the king steps onto the d-file, I take with check. Discovered check. And this is going to be... I mean, this has to be game over. I'm not sure exactly in what manner, but... That's a nice find. I could castle. But then I give away 2 pawns. Here, 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 here. It's a bit complicated. Bit complicated. I don't think I have a follow-up check, but I don't need one. I just need to defend. Maybe knight c4 is easy, just defending the bishop. Bishop protects. Bishop d5. Bishop d5, knight e3. Oh, I always take this with check as well. Oh, yeah, well, that makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? Let's go for it. Yeah. And then, I mean, the queen is trapped, no? The queen has no moves. So you have to play that. But then I take this with check. Because you have to take the queen. And then that's game over. Yeah, I mean, you can go for that, but I'm just going to take it. I would assume. Knight here. This is actually slightly complicated. It's actually a little bit complicated. King here, bishop here, queen here, bishop here, queen here. That should be fine. I mean, I'm up a lot of material. I can give some away. Knight takes? Okay. I need to play faster. The knight is almost trapped. The bishop has to defend. e5, b4, keeping the bishop out, knight c4, knight d6. Rook f8. Bishop there. Check. Was that a good check? I actually don't know. Hold on. I didn't see that. getting myself mated. I am. I am. I must be. What have I done? How? How? Oh my god. I can't believe that. How do I mess up a position where I'm up a queen? I mean, this was perfect. Bishop to d5 was perfect. This was perfect. How is there play here? I mean, king g3, it's a silly move. It's a good move, but like, just go queen e1. Here, if you want to take this, I mean, that's fine. I should have just gone for that. And then there's nothing. But yeah, king up is just creating complications. Queen back, rook over makes sense. I mean, here, the engine really wants rook d6. I mean, I considered this move, but it's a strange move to play. And then here, I should give up my queen, apparently. Difficult to say in practice. Knight d6 is the other move. But it just wants me to give up my queen. Yeah, this is a draw. Well, that's 2300s for you, innit? Like, they are just going to keep fighting. And I mean, fair play. It's a nice job from him to bring that back. But I really have no excuse for losing that. There's absolutely no reason to lose that. I don't know. It is what it is, but it's just frustrating. Alright, WFM from, what is that, Cuba? Yeah. Alright, Caro. Cool. Oh, we have the Apocalypse attack. I think, isn't it a6 that you can play against this? To stop bishop to b5. I'm sure this is the best way to play. And then you just develop like normal, is it? I mean, taking looks strange. Although after bishop f5, I mean, so what? This looks fine. Stop pawn e6. And then this just looks good. Bishop c5, knight e7. I guess I have to watch for f4, f5, but it's not that big a deal. Okay. Let's drop my bishop back. Probably go rook c8, and then I can come to b8 if I want, but for now I'll keep an eye on this. Okay, let's take that, I think. Knight to f5 can come with tempo. Okay, fe3, really? Really? How are you defending? If you want to go e4, I mean, it's a move, but what's the point other than trading? Even if I take this, e5 is still very weak. Like take and queen d5 offering a trade. e5 is a big weakness. Okay, let's just threaten the e5 pawn. I don't think white has the firepower to attack. I mean, he can put his knight on d4, but obviously I'm not going to fall for knight e5 and queen h7 mate. I'm just going to do anything else. Queen c7 or queen g5? Queen g5, queen d4, queen c7, queen d4, queen c7, queen d4. Then I win the pawn. Oh no, we can't go queen d4. If queen d4, then I can take, because now there's no pressure. So I'm just winning the pawn. And my knight clogs everything up. Maybe I'm allowing knight c5? Because if knight c5, queen e5, knight d7. Maybe that's the idea. Although, if knight c5, pawn b6, knight a6... Maybe... Yeah, maybe queen c7 is better because it stops knight c5. Perhaps that's the point. But although, actually, if knight c5, I could go b5. And then if this, I just have this. I could go rook b8, but then I get hit with a fork. I think b5. If a4... Probably... Well, no, if take, then I get forked. If a4... Rook c8... Knight d7. I could go rook c4. But let's say rook c7, knight b6. Okay, yeah, rook f1 played. That's... Well, no, if I take, then knight d7. I should have gone queen c7. I could go queen back. Just admit that I'm wrong and reset. To be honest, that's probably the best thing to do. I feel like that's the mature thing to do. And just say, okay, you know what? My queen, it shouldn't be on g5. I just want you gone. If b4, then... It's a move, but it feels very committal. Maybe that's a good idea, but... a5? a3? Take? I could go h6, preparing this. Yeah, h6 makes sense. There is rook h5 defending, but then the rook on h5 is a bit weird. It can't come to g5 or f5 from h5, so it's kind of stuck on the h file then. I feel like I can just chill a bit. I don't think I have to make any major commitments. Yeah, rook h5 played. It just feels wrong. It feels wrong to have the rook there. I could even go queen c7, just attacking. Although maybe I'm... Oh, no. Then there's knight e6 here and here. So let's be careful. a5 now? I kind of like a5. If take and take, then I'm going to win this. And I don't mind that. If a3, which I think is probably the best idea. g4. What does g4 do? g5 isn't a threat. Yeah, it's not a threat. Let's take. And let's take. Let's take. He can't do this. My knight is always defended by the queen if he goes for sacks. Okay, my knight always defends h8, but he could sack his queen. g4 looks strong. Wait, I can take, but then there's mate. f5. Risky. Let's give a check. Just for the sake of it. Gain a bit of time. Oh, wait. I just missed it. I just missed a win. I had knight h4. Huh. I just missed a win. God damn it. Oh, rook g1 would have been strong. You know what? Screw this. I can't think of moves. I'm just blundering. I can't think of moves. Oh, my opponent ran out of time, though. Oh my god. I mean, f5 is just a blunder. It just loses the game on the spot. I was trying to see if knight e5 worked. Oh, and it does as well, because I have queen f6. It felt right, but I didn't have time to think through. To be fair, bringing my rook over is the best idea. Oh, we beat a titled player. That's not bad. But yeah, I am completely winning. I completely missed this. Although, actually, it's not even that good, because I can't take the rooks of mate. Although there is g6 forcing this. Yeah, I should have gone for that, but wow, that was wild. That was absolutely wild. I thought coming back was good. Yeah, a5 is the best option. Taking is good. Take, g5, take. And then here, rook a1 is the best move. And basically, I just needed to figure out that the way to play is to get the other rook involved. And I eventually figured that out. And this is the best continuation. This would have been the best move. I also actually had rook h2, sacking the rook to go knight e5, which would have been cleaner. I almost blundered my rook on f1. Although here, actually, knight e5, and the position is still equal. And if takes, I'm actually winning. If you move the king, the queen hangs. And if rook f4, then queen e5. And I'm down a piece, but the engine thinks this is drawing only if white finds h4. Otherwise, I win. I'm not entirely sure. I think the point is that my threat is queen h5, queen h2. Because the king will have to come this way. So yeah, I mean, that's just wild. Obviously, f5 is a terrible, terrible move. There's just rook takes, and I'm losing. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I still have chances with something like queen to f7, and after something like rook back, I don't know, maybe. But that was really silly at the end. That was a silly ending, but I feel like I deserve a bit of luck at this point, so we'll take it. Okay. Beat a titled player, not bad. Let's go for a Monte Carlo French. I love these structures. Let's go bishop d3. Knight to f3. Castles. I might go c5. I will go c5. Yeah. The computer sees mate in 76 if the pawn doesn't go to h4. Should have seen it. Damn. What a terrible chess player I am. b4 looks reasonable. I also like bishop g5. Can't be wrong. Yeah, b6. Let's go b4. Keeping hold of the pawn. If a5, b5 is interesting. Let's go a4. Okay, queen b8. b5 looks very strong. If take, then this. And if take, then take. Wait a minute. Knight b5. This knight has to move. Can go to e5, though, which I have to say I missed. Okay, this is very interesting. And both our kings are completely exposed. I could take. Could go rook b1. Queen c8's annoying, though. Yeah, I think I need control of f5. Bishop e5, okay. Let's go rook b1. Counter-attacking. Unpinning. Queen d6. He can't take because I fork. So queen e6. Queen c2, bishop g6. Rook b7. Rook b7, bishop g6, rook e7, bishop f5. Kind of like that. It's a complicated position. I've got to make sure h3 doesn't hang. Could give this check. I'm not sure what I accomplished, though. Could give this check. Take. Not really sure what I accomplished. Let's go rook e7. Kicking the queen back to c8. Are we cooking? I don't know. It's a complicated position, though. Wait, queen here, rook here. Oh, that's gorgeous. So he has to give up the queen. And he sees it. Oh, wow. I just saw an incredible tactic, which my opponent also saw. f4 looks very strong. I like f4. Freeing this up. And I mean, it was a doubled pawn anyway. f5 I'll take, of course. h6. Valid. Here? Okay, let's go king h1. Yeah. Look to trade. I want to target f6. I mean, this pawn is still on c6, of course. I also just don't want problems on this diagonal, so I want to trade the bishops. My rook can't come to c1 because it's covered. Complicated position. Rook a to e8. Okay. He's got to take with the pawn. Oh, okay. So I thought I can take here now. And that's not good for him. My king looks pretty safe. I'm going to have to give up the pawn. I'm very low on time, though. Which is not great. Defend. I'm not sure how I play this. Maybe this? I assume trading a pair of rooks is good. I feel like this is good. Bishop c3. I'm not really sure why I'm doing that. F3, let's defend. Okay. I can get out the checks relatively easily. His king is relatively safe. Let's try and make it a bit more chaotic for the king. I don't think he can really win any of my pawns. Sometimes these types of positions can be drawish, so it is difficult. I'm not sure about that move. Why is he blowing things up? Maybe it's a draw no matter what. Or maybe black can even push for a win. I guess black's pushing now. Okay. I can't really win this anymore. Yeah, I think this is just a draw. A shame, because I felt like I should have been winning, but it was really hard to convert that. My opponent defended very well, and I was just too low on time, really. But yeah, what was a crazy, crazy position was, when was it? Yeah, things got wild after b5. Here. And then I did slip a little bit. Better was taking on d7. And after takes, this was the better continuation. I think I just thought that my d7 pawn was going to get lost too easily. I think that's why I didn't go for it, but I don't think that's a very good... Although, to be fair, rook b1 is the only way to hold the advantage, so maybe that's a fair assessment. So, knight in, knight up, take. Crazy position. And then here, rook b1, queen up, knight f5, and then rook up sets an incredible trap after rook here. So it looks like you have to play queen back, but here there is a win. Try and find the win. You can pause the stream, but it's rook e5, and after takes, I fork the king and the queen. And then this is going to be winning, because, you know, everything will get traded off the board. And I have a queen for a rook. And, yeah, that's about that. But where it went is I still won the queen. I just couldn't find a way through. I was really, really struggling here. I just could not find a way through. Here, the engine suggests c7, but that loses the pawn anyway. I just could not see it. Oh, I mean, there's rook g... Oh, no, of course rook g1. Of course. It forces this, and then I win the bishop. That's quite obvious in hindsight. I was just too low on time. I mean, 4 seconds is not enough to convert this position. Not for me. Not for me. Okay. This is a guy I've already lost against, by the looks of it. Alright then. Oh god, I hate these positions. They're so annoying. Playing against these, like, Catalan setups, I absolutely hate it. But, alright, we'll play. We'll see what happens. We'll see what we can do here. So, I basically just want to build a big pawn wall. Okay. Let's defend b7. I don't think that's really concerning. If he takes on d5, I can take back and I threaten the bishop on c1, so he doesn't have time for anything. If knight d4, bishop g6, looks fine. He's going to get this, but I think I can just come back, or even come up, which looks fine. Okay, let's take back with the e-pawn, because I want to keep this completely shut off from his light squared bishop. Bishop here, queen here looks fine. Okay, let's keep his bishop out. Bishop g5, let's defend. Okay, he's threatening this. So let's offer him a queen trade and step off the c-file. I think I happily take, because it ruins his structure, because he's got rid of his c-pawn. Because then they're doubled and isolated. Okay, let's open the A file. B5, B4 ideas. Yeah, this isn't bad. Ready to castle. This is just a decent position, to be fair. It hasn't gone too badly. B4, I mean, it's on the way, and then I should have a queenside majority in the endgame. Maybe. Yeah, I don't mind this. And we're also up on time, which is good. Because I'm never up on time. What? No. That doesn't work. Does it? Here, d4, I come back. What does that do? Oh my god, there's rook c8. Wait. d4. Here, and I lose the rook. Oh my, there's no way. Oh wow. That's nuts. Okay, how do I defend then? I just have to give it up, but then I'm going to lose this as well. Bishop e4? Take. I'm not really happy with that, but knight e4. Take. Castle. Is that the best I can do? Maybe. I don't see anything else. That's insane. That is really nice. I didn't realize that rook c8 was an idea. I mean, I'm down 2 pawns now. I think I'm just losing. Yeah, e7 failed to knight to c7. That was the big problem. h6. I mean, I'm going to lose the knight and this is coming. I think it's still completely lost. That's an incredible line from my opponent. Yeah, I mean, I just don't have anything, do I? I mean, I'm just down 2 clean pawns. He's got the bishop pair. This is almost resignable. Well, very, very, very nearly resignable. It's an incredible find. Oh, and I've just got my knight trapped as well. Okay, well, this is definitely resignable. I cannot believe that. Does that work? Oh my god, there is one defensive move here, which I didn't consider. There is one defensive move. Can you guys find it? Can you guys find it? Try and find the one defense in this position. It's pretty nuts, to be fair. Try and find it. One defensive move. Okay. The move's king e7. Defending and stopping this. Even so, after knight c7, bishop c7, rook c7, it's still very hard to hold this. After something like h6, take, and take, maybe, this is still very tough. That's ridiculous. God, I hate playing against these Catalan things, man. I absolutely hate it. Just there's so many weird tactics that like you just don't see. Like they just shouldn't be a thing, but they are for some reason. Hate it. Okay, it looks like my opponent is aborting the game for whatever reason. Tell you what, this climb to 2300 hasn't gone very well, has it? Like, we're literally back where we started. I mean, granted, I'm going to be playing worse because I'm recording live and I'm talking and whatnot. So I will be playing a little bit worse than I normally would. But, even so, this hasn't gone to plan. Okay. This is a line that is quite interesting. This is an interesting line. E6, I think, is actually losing. Because I think we have B5, no? I think B5... Wait, have I met... Am I messing this up? Or is it bishop B5? I don't know if I've messed this up. 95. Bishop E2. Hold on. I don't think I've done this right. Because he's going to win this C5 pawn. I'm not sure. I don't think B5 is the move. I think bishop B5. Although maybe still knight E5 though. Okay. King C2 runs into problems. I think, is it bishop D2? I think so. I'm really not sure about this. I'm going to take with the bishop. I'm not a fan. Material is equal. I mean, guess C4 is an option. Should probably keep the knight out of here. Although I think I might have just allowed... Oh, no, I guess if this and this, that's fine. Knight F5. Is that a concern? Maybe. Maybe. Knight C3, Knight D4. Ugh. Bishop E3, Knight D4. I can't take it because bishop takes wins my rook. I think this is just lost. I've messed something up. I don't know what it is, but I did something wrong. Oh, and that's just... Yeah, I'm just losing C4 as well. So I'm just going to be down 2 pawns, and I don't really see a way back there. Maybe there's something down the C file? I don't think so, but... Yeah, because E6 is normally not the move. Normally E5 is the move. And then I don't know. D2. I mean, I'll try to counterattack. Doesn't look very good, though. Maybe I can have some chances on the queen side. I don't know. I mean, pawn b5. I mean, I just played it, and it looks pretty horrific. I'm not sure if I misplayed afterwards, but I think I have seen that, the thing you're mentioning. If rook c2, what do I do there? Rook d1? Check here. I can't take and open up the f-file, can I? Oh, no, rook d1. That has to be the attempt. I'm sacking a2, but I need activity. I mean, my other rook just can't get into the game, so... Yeah, he can't take on c4 because I have knight to d6 check. That's the idea. Okay, king c7. Let's push. Five. Push. Don't see a follow-up. Here. Doesn't really do anything, does it? I don't see what I do. My king is just completely trapped. I'll try and play actively, but I don't think we have anything. Don't think we have anything. I mean, I can go after this pawn, but small consolation. I guess king g2 can now be played to bring my other rook into the game. If rook c1, king e2? No, probably king g2. So if take, king take. So my knight can come to d3. My opponent's getting low on time, though. Maybe I can bring this back. He's getting pretty low. Okay. I need to get my rook in. My h-rook. Check here. Keeping an eye. Alright, let's keep an eye on the pawn. Oh, but he has a mate threat. He's threatening mate. So am I. Do I have time, though? Oh, no. This is still mate. Oh my god. Knight c5 is mate. Was there a defense? Yeah. Rook d8. Oh, of course rook d8. He actually missed mate in 1 here. Rook c2 is mate in 1. Did I have a better line? King d4 was better. And after check, king c3, I didn't see that. And then here I'm chilling. my opponent has to pin my knight, and then I have to find rook d7, because if take then mate... Okay, what was that? That was a complete mess. I don't know about this position in the opening. b4 was right, but here b5 is not. Bishop b5 is the move, yeah, and then the knight can't come to e5 because he's not threatening to win the pawn. Although if takes, apparently take is the way to go, and then takes. And then if castle's queenside, king c2, check, I can come to b3. And then I've got a passed a-pawn. Okay, that was a bit ridiculous. We're going to play one more game, and then I'm going to go. This is the last game. Come on, let's go. Let's go. And then I've got to go do stuff. Because, believe it or not, I actually have stuff to do today. Madness. Come on. Oh, God. Can we have an opponent who actually wants to play chess? Come on. Who wants to play chess? Hey. We have a chess player. A 2300 chess player, but a chess player. Alright, can we get a Tartakower? Yes. Yes. Let's go bishop f5. This is the line that I like. Yeah, this is good understanding from my opponent. The knight is better on e2. Start of queen c7. That? Okay. Okay. I guess he's trying to support the f4 square. Uh-huh. Okay. He can take me if he wants. Go g6. Maybe I could have considered this maneuver. Okay, queen f3. What does that do? Maybe he's looking for a queen trade. Maybe he wants queen f4. No? Okay. Go knight f6. This is a very, very typical Tartakower position. Relatively similar to the one we had earlier. So, okay, my knight probably wants to come into e4, of course. I have decent control of the e file. Okay, knight d3 looking at the e5 square makes sense. I think we throw our knight in. If knight to e5, we have f6, I think. Knight g4. Wait, here. This is complicated. This is complicated. Here. Take. Oh, no, it isn't, because if take. Okay, yeah, f6 can be played. Forcing the knight back. Here, queen e3. Or knight e3. Here. Knight e2 I can take, and then this. Knight e3, that's fine. Can even look for these ideas. f4 maybe. We have to try to use our kingside pawn majority if we can in some of these positions. Can come in very handy. So, okay, his knight's under attack. Where's it going to go? E3, okay. Knight here. Where does the queen go? Here, then check. Here, f4 looks very tempting. Here takes check. Oh, then I take back. Yeah, okay. If here. Queen here? Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's try and be a little bit aggressive here. Because if we can trade off our doubled pawn, that would be a great win. Could give a check. King moves. Don't really achieve anything there. F3 doesn't achieve anything. I could even come here because I hit the knight. Kind of prefer that. Kind of prefer that. And I should be ooh. What? Takes. And then I win. Yeah, that should be game. And yeah, as I said, the Tartakower is solid. If you want to learn the Tartakower, by the way, if you join my school community, I've got a full Caro Kann course, including extensive analysis on the Tartakower. But yeah, this is just much better for us after here, knight e3 is wrong. It looks so natural, though. I thought it was the best move. But yeah, knight g5 and f4 is just super, super strong. Taking is the only move. After knight h3, check, king here, knight here, I mean, the engine thinks this is holdable for white, but this still looks difficult. And I get rid of my doubled pawn as well. So knight back. Okay, the engine actually does prefer queen g4. And I thought takes was okay. But oh, no, there's knight f3. Okay, I admittedly did miss knight f3 in that position. I had seen takes knight h3, and I was like, oh, this is decent. Like here. But it's not winning. So I did miss knight f3 there. Queen f5 is still good, and then this is just game over now. The only way to play is either gf4, in which case I take, or h4, which is still very difficult to play. And I mean, even here, after something like here, and here, d5 is the only move. Otherwise, I'm just better, clearly. And I mean, even if you do find d5, this is still chaotic. So, yeah. Ending the stream with a win against a 2300. That's not bad. Hope you guys enjoyed. And, yeah, I'll see you.